That's right. With QLZ, we're back. We're trying to get back in the green room now that we have moved back to 92.7. Molly, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but we used to be on a different frequency. We're back on our old one now, and we've been haven't had as many interviews this summer as what we've wanted, but now we're back, getting back on into the swing of them here, and we're excited to have you in the green room for the first time. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So Molly with Living Dead Girl, the band that you're going to hear for the Artist Spotlight on Friday. So for us here in the Central Time Zone, will be 8:30 in the morning with Poison Me, 1:30 in the afternoon, 7:30 in the evening. And we're excited to get you on here. First time we'll get you on here since I've been here with QLZ. And before we dive into the music and everything else, Upheaval was this weekend for you and the guys. So give me a rundown of Upheaval, the thrills of getting out and playing that festival this past weekend.
Upheaval was an absolutely amazing experience. It was such a great lineup, so many amazing bands that we had the honor of playing with. And we had so many people at our stage. We were playing on the rising stage. So It was like adjacent to the main stage. And we had a lot of people come over to check us out after the band on the main stage was done. So we had a really great turnout. And it was a very high energy crowd. It was a lot of fun. We had a big mosh pit during our cover of Skater Boy. So that was really fun. It was overall like a really high energy, fun performance.
That's awesome. Now, was that the Skater Boy? Is that usually the song that people mosh to you for Living Dead Girl, or was that kind of a surprise?
Honestly, it kind of is. I feel like it's just got that pop punk attitude and like vibe to it that gets people bouncing, and then with the crossover with the metal, it just gets them starting a circle pit.
There you go. That's awesome. Now, I've never been to Upheaval. I've lived in Wisconsin before, so I can't remember if you've all played Rockfest or not in Cadott, if you've all played there.
We did last year, yeah.
You did last year? Okay. So you like the Who's on Top stage, you got the hill to climb up for the Who's on Top stage. I've been out to Rockfest before. And looking at some stuff from Upheaval, and I feel like people have said stuff about there being like big hills and stuff for Upheaval. So where you're at, are you guys taking all the gear up the big hill, or what was that like?
We played at the stage at the bottom of the hill, so we didn't have to do that trek. Okay. There was a hill from the walk from the RV to the stage that we played at, though, but they were gracious enough to load our gear into a truck for us.
That's nice. And if you wanted to work out, you could just run up there and see the other bands play for up on the hill for anything.
Yeah, definitely.
So congratulations on that. Like I said, I know it was a good turnout for you guys, and it's cool when you can get, you start as a band, you get, on these festivals. It's always good. So Poison Me, like I said, is the track we have coming up on Friday for the Artist Spotlight for everybody. What would you want our listeners to know about this track? I kind of like to leave this open-ended to you from whatever angle you kind of want to take it from. But since we're playing it Friday, and anything you want our listeners to know about this track?
I would say Poison Me. If you're a longtime listener of Living Dead Girl, it still has what you would expect from a Living Dead Girl song. It's got the big screams as well as the clean vocals. Like, it's a good blend between the two of them. It's catchy, it's heavy, but also for like new listeners of Living Dead Girl, I would say this is the song you should listen to first, because I would say this is probably like our best single yet. Like, no offense to my older music, but this is kind of the one I'm like most proud of. I feel like this song is just so intense. Like, it really gives you goosebumps. So this is a very sentimental and special song for us.
Okay. Any reason behind it being so special? Because I want to ask you you just started this band, not that long ago. I know it was a little bit after COVID you started this band, and it's cool because I'm sure it was not an easy time to kind of get a band going. But is there anything, what's maybe special about this song for you? Anything that sticks out in your mind where you're like, we think we got something here?
So I recorded our debut album Exorcism in 2019 and early 2020.
Okay.
And then we did our covers EP, Not That Innocent, but I'm not going to like really count that because it's covers, not originals. I can't take any writing credits there. Yeah. So this was my first time back in a studio in over 3 years working on originals. And I feel like the amount of change in my life in that time and the amount of growth and maturity I had. I mean, I was 20 years old when I recorded Exorcism. So I still kind of considered myself a teenager.
Yeah.
So I feel like going back into the studio, a little older, a little wiser, tour experience under my belt, everything, you can really hear the artistic growth that I've had since then. And I also worked with a vocal coach, Jamie Vendera, who's absolutely incredible in the time between Exorcism and Poison Me and our new album. So I feel like you can really hear the like growth and maturity in my voice as well. Like, you can tell that I worked with him, and I'm very proud of that.
That's awesome. No, I can. That's one of the things I want to talk to you about too. Was I'm listening to a live when you guys went to Radio with a Live. I think it was back in 2021 around there to kind of now and hearing the differences in that. But where'd you guys film I got to ask, where did you guys film the music video for this? I told you, I just watched it. I like to watch the video if there is one out there for whoever we talk to. So it's fresh in my mind for everything. It feels like it's kind of got that intensity of the song as well. But where'd you guys film that at?
So I'm like very like giddy to share this. I'm so excited about. We filmed that video in our backyard.
Okay.
My husband actually built us like a rain set. So he built like a big wooden frame with PVC piping through it and then drilled holes into it. And we hooked 2 hoses up to it.
Oh my God.
And we actually filmed it in our backyard in Florida.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So it was entirely DIY'd, like hand built by us.
Mm-hmm. Is that the first video you've ever done, like 100% DIY, like in the backyard?
Yeah, like that was definitely the most hands-on we've ever been. Like before we've rented studios and like paid crew and everything. But with this one we were really trying to like stick to a budget and just be as like hands-on with it as we could because we wanted to be able to sink more money into, the marketing and everything else instead of wasting like 10 grand making a music video.
Yeah.
So I was looking into renting. They have like Rain Studios that you can rent for TV shows and everything. And the cheapest one I could find was $4,000 for a few hours. So I kept thinking about it because for some reason that song just kept making me think of rain. I just felt moody, dramatic. I was like, I think if we were all soaking wet performing in classy clothes, it would just look so cool. And once I get stuck on an idea, I'm very stubborn and I won't budge. Like I was not open to hearing anyone else's suggestions on the video. It had to be in the rain once I thought of it. So I just woke up one day and my husband, who's also our drummer, was in our backyard with a measuring tape. And I was just like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, you want rain. I'm going to build some rain.
That's awesome. That's incredible. So do you have neighbors? I mean, obviously you're filming this back there. Are neighbors wondering what's going on? There's the set being built. Are they aware that you guys are in a band, or what's the outside perspective like in the neighborhood?
Yeah, so we're really close friends with our neighbors across the street. So like they knew what was going on, but we actually right before we started filming had like one of our video guys and our guitarist, I think, they went like door to door, just a few houses on either side, knocking and saying it's going to be really loud for about an hour. We're sorry. But like it's Florida. People are so chill here. Like everyone was just like, you do you. We don't care. Like hearing drums in the backyard is not the weirdest thing that happens in Florida. So I feel like no one really cared.
That's true.
And we were only filming for about an hour, maybe max. Because when we were just doing my shots, it was pretty quiet. It was just like the music playing. But when we were filming the full band, like it's full volume drums outside. That was the really loud part.
Did you form a crowd? Anybody come out and watch, or is it like, hey, we need, we don't want a bunch of people around. Anybody want to come out and actually watch?
So we didn't really have like anyone like coming to watch, except we did have a few friends there, Michael and Ari, who were kind of acting as like our production assistants. So in between takes, they would like run over and she would kind of fix my hair a bit and hand us towels. And Michael was standing off camera, like blowing his vape, and we called him the human smoke machine. So like they were like assisting on it and they got to watch it, which was really fun. But other than that, we didn't really have anyone else around.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Your neighbors are chill about it. Not everybody would be. We did a show here this past Saturday, and we ended like right at curfew, and we were wondering, is anybody actually going to call the cops? Which nobody did. We started joking. We're like, we should just keep playing until the cops are called. The fans wanted it, but we hit it right there. We've had people that have like called it like 8:00 for shows that are going on here, and people complaining at 8:00 at night. So it's always interesting when you decide, we're gonna do something in our backyard.
Yeah.
See, nobody
like 8:00 is early though. Like I understand a noise complaint after like 11 or 12. Like that would be annoying, but 8:00 you're not even asleep yet, so there's no point calling the cops then.
No, not at all. I know you mentioned your husband's in the band with you, and I always like hearing the dynamic of when couples are in a band together and whatnot. But is it like, I think the biggest thing is like the support, because obviously there are certain careers out there where you sacrifice a lot of things, and you need and not everybody understands what you're doing. Like not everybody understands what it takes to be in a band and whatnot. So like having kind of that built-in support system where you're both in a band, what it takes to try to make it and the struggles you got to make, but what's it like having kind of that support system right within the band for you two with each other?
I think it's absolutely awesome because even before he had joined my band, he was like watching from the outside. He used to come on tour with us as like our photographer.
Okay.
And then he watched me like audition drummer after drummer. And finally he was like, I can learn your album on drums. I used to be a drummer back in the day. And then we kind of joked that he's filling in for 2 weeks because that's what he said in the first place. But that was 3 years ago. And now he's still here. But it's awesome because like he wants my band to be so successful. Like he wants it as badly as I do. Like he wants it for me. So having someone that cares that much in your band is really awesome. Like it's not, like a session guy or some random band member who might kind of like half-ass things. Like we have someone who wants my success as much as I do. So he's like willing to help me any way he can. Like building studios in the backyard. And he also edited that music video for us. So it's great because he just really wants to see it go somewhere and he really wants the win for me. So it's great to have that kind of like relationship in the band as well.
Mhm. It's incredible when you have that again, because again, this is, there's some bands that we talk to where it's like, hey, like, it's siblings in the band together. It's, but those are very, very few far between where it's either, a married couple, people dating or whatnot. It's like, at least you have each other for the support system, everything, which is incredible. And you've mentioned growth a couple of times. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, again, like, hearing you in 2021 with the band and hearing Alive come into radio. And I like that song and it's a cool song. And then hearing Poison Me, and it's like, I can hear kind of that next step for what you and the band have done. But like, where do you think, and I know you mentioned a little bit, but where do you think you and the band have kind of grown the most here in the last couple of years, from the debut record 6 years ago to now?
I would say our live show has honestly transformed. And if you saw us live on our very first tour, I'd like to personally apologize. I went on my very first tour when I was 21 years old. And I will straight up admit that before my first tour, I had played 8 shows in my entire life.
Okay.
Because I grew up in a small town in Ontario. Like, I didn't have, it's a lot easier to like tour in the US because you can drive 4 hours and hit a major city pretty much anywhere. You can just drive and everything's close by. There's a lot of people. Whereas in Canada, you can drive for 30 hours and still not hit a city. So I feel like I kind of, as like a teenager, I didn't really get to build up my tour experience very much, because also for us to come to the US, it's like work visas and like legal documents and everything you have to do. So I felt like when I went from, I've only played 8 shows in my life, to going on my first tour, I was very, very inexperienced, and it showed. I was honestly really humbled by how different singing live was than singing in a studio. And yeah, like, other than saying I'm sorry for anyone who saw it then, like, that's I'm really glad though. A lot of people have seen us on our first tour and have come back out and seen us more recently. So I feel like it's kind of like making it up to them, like showing them, see, now I've been doing it for 4 years. Now I've played hundreds of shows at this point. Look at how far we've come. And it's cool to hear people give us feedback on that too. Like, this is not even like the same band I saw a few years ago. But I'm also grateful that, they didn't just write us off at the time and came and gave us another chance. Because honestly, experience is everything, and I see that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of why, like, I like to tell people too, when you can get out to a show, obviously there's times that happen and you get there a little bit late, but it's like, you go out there for early for everybody. And it's why it's good to give bands second chances on things. And, sometimes we get work singles from bands and it's like, yeah, maybe this isn't really kind of what we do. And, the next time they put something back out, it's like, you just got to have an open mind about it. You're like, hey, this one's a better fit for us. So, it's incredible that, and you can recognize this growth. So how important has it been to be, just honest with, the band and you, and just overall just being honest with yourself and saying, hey, we did this, and, and freely admitting like, hey, like, we knew there's things we had to work on. Is that something that came with you as you got a little bit older as well, where you can like, hey, I have no problem recognizing where we needed to improve?
Yeah, I feel like I'm grateful that my parents raised me in a way that they weren't like participation trophies. They never told me I was great when I wasn't. They actually pushed me really hard to be like, you need singing lessons, you need to work harder, you need to do more of this. Like, they would be the first people to tell me, like, oh, you were really flat, your stage presence sucked, whatever. They would be the first people to tell me. So I feel like I'm very realistic with myself and with my band at being critical where it needs to be. Like, we will record our entire set, watch it after, and pick it apart. We'll say, we need to choreograph this part better, we need to tighten this part. Molly's missing this note every single time, go work with the vocal coach on this specific song. Like, the first tour, we were singing our song Escape, and it has a really high note in it, and I missed it like every single time. And then I brought that song to Jamie, my vocal coach, and was like, what am I doing wrong here? Why can I not do this? I did it in the studio, but live, you're just tired and out of breath. And now, like, we did it on this last tour, and my bassist straight up said to me, he's like, you nailed it. So I feel like knowing what you need to work on is extremely important. You can't just delusionally tell yourself you're the best when you're not.
Yeah. How satisfying is it though now? Like you mentioned, like your bass just came up to you and said you hit that note. What's that satisfaction like for you?
Oh, it feels incredible, because it's nice to know that when I would receive that kind of criticism a few years ago from my fellow bandmates, from my vocal coach, my family, whoever it may be, that it didn't discourage me or make me stop. It didn't make me go, fine, screw you, I'm just going to stop singing then. I'm just not going to tour anymore. Like, I never get defensive or get my back up in that way with criticism. I take it as, all right, I need to try harder. I need to do better. So being able to like hear that the hard work since then has paid off feels really good. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I've worked on my singing since then, because now I get to reap the rewards of it.
That's awesome though. It's good for you. I mean, it's good. It's good to have an open mind. And I feel like in our industry too, people criticize you for things. And when I started out, people sit you down and they're like, all right, we're gonna listen to how you talked in these breaks. And that's like, oh my gosh. I go back and listen to some of the stuff now I did when I started when I was like 20 years old and be like, oh my gosh, I was
I
not
feel
good.
I feel like if you don't cringe at your old work, then you haven't grown. Like if you
Mhm.
don't feel embarrassed by what you used to do, then you haven't progressed.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you because there's stuff I go, oh shit, man, that was not good. Thank goodness I've gotten a lot better since then. What's the rest of this year look like for music? Obviously, Poison Me is out now, and again, it's a track we'll have in the air spotlight this Friday for our listeners, and tune on in for everything. And so, kind of the rest of this year look like for you guys? Albums, EPs, what's kind of coming on up?
So Poison Me is the lead single off our second full-length album Conspiracy, which we are extremely excited to be releasing this year on October 10th. So Poison Me is introducing that new era to everybody. We've got some more singles coming out between now and then. We've got an album release party that we're going to be sharing some details on our socials very soon for this October. We're just really pushing this next album, getting it out there, getting it heard by as many people as possible. So we're not doing like another headlining tour at the moment. We don't have anything booked, but we are really focusing on utilizing social media, radio, etc., to get everybody to know this album exists.
Mhm. So, what's a song if you can share it? What's a song that we haven't heard yet that maybe you're like you go this is another one? I know you said Poison Me. You're extremely excited for this song, and you've talked about the growth in it and everything. What's maybe a song or two that is on the album that obviously a lot of us have not heard yet that you're like I can't wait for people to hear this one or this or a couple of these.
There is one song that we are releasing as a single on it called Succubus
Okay.
that I think is my favorite song we've ever written and recorded ever. Any Living Dead Girl song, any album. And I'm extremely excited for people to hear that one. It's got kind of like a Nine Inch Nails in this moment vibe to it. So it's still on brand for Living Dead Girl, but that one just really sticks out. And
Okay.
honestly, I think it's the best vocals I've ever recorded too. So that one is definitely a standout. I would also say there's a song called Wild and Free on it that we actually did play live at Upheaval. So anybody who was there got to hear a little preview of it. That song is so out of left field. Like this whole album is very serious, emotional, like dramatic. And then there's just this one song that I straight up said to our producer, I want one song that has no meaning, no significance. It's not about anything.
Yeah.
It is just for the purpose of having fun. I just want one experimental, fun song. And we did that. We kind of did it as a joke. And now it's one of our favorite songs as a band. So I'm
There
excited
you
for
go.
people to hear that one.
Awesome. Cool. And speaking of, it's a full length, right? Full length.
Yes,
Okay.
11 songs.
Awesome. Awesome. And that doesn't always happen. That doesn't always happen anymore. And I'd like to get your opinion on it. Anybody that tells me whether they go the singles route, the EP route, the album route, why is the album route the right one for you and the band? Because I just it's a world where singles rule everything and whatnot. So I love knowing the meaning, the reasons why you're going with a full length album. Because I still love buying a physical CD and listening to the entirety of it.
I do too. I'm extremely old school with that stuff. Like, I still have a VCR with every Disney
Oh my.
VHS. I still buy DVDs. I was super hesitant to start using Spotify, and I only ever did because my car has like the Apple CarPlay and no CD player. So that's when I reluctantly switched from CDs to, okay, fine, I'll stream music just in the car. So,
Mhm.
like, I'm very old school when it comes to media and art in general. I personally, like you said, love to physically own a CD. One of the exciting parts for me is because I also do like visual art as well, and I do a lot of the graphic design for our band, like creating the album covers and whatnot. Is I love the lyric booklet. I
Okay.
feel like seeing the photos and the graphics that an artist chooses to represent the music really helps bring it to life and add more depth to it. So I did all of the design for the new CD myself with my husband, and it just like I don't know, it feels a lot more satisfying to make a full length album, like a collection of music. It feels like a chapter two to Exorcism, like a continuation of it. And I don't know, I don't like doing just singles. I feel like I could just do singles every day, all day, and just keep throwing them out there. But I feel like it's so much more like iconic to be in like a new album era.
No, I like that though. You mentioned a VCR. What do you still watch? What's the favorite VHS that you have? Can you?
I own every single Disney movie on VHS. I have
Yeah.
a massive collection of it and every single edition of The Little Mermaid that's ever been put out on VHS, including the band cover.
Okay. All right. I think my parents we used to have the DVD VCR combo when I was in high school, and I think that's been gone for years and years now. My parents still have VHS somewhere. I think they're in a box in the attic somewhere, but they're still around somewhere.
See, I love DVDs and VHSs because if your Wi-Fi is being slow, it's not lagging, it's not buffering. If your you know, like if you buy something on not social media, if you buy something on streaming is what I meant to say. Like I remember I bought Bob's Burgers on YouTube TV. I bought every single episode of it.
Mhm.
And then it got removed from YouTube and you don't get a refund and you can't watch it anymore.
Really?
Whereas if I buy a DVD, I can own it forever. So I don't like when they like take things off of streaming platforms or move them to a different one because then you have to buy all of them.
That's true. That's a really good point. That's a very good point. I don't know.
Whereas-
Maybe we'll go back to more physical stuff at some point. That's a really good point.
Yeah, then it's yours forever.
Yeah. There you go. Keep on to it. Molly, before I let you go, ask this question every time somebody comes on for the first time. And since you are doing an album again, it's why I also like asking why you are doing an album, because I like to ask some of your favorite no skip records from start to finish, some of the albums you put on. And you're like, you know what? I'm just not going to skip a single song on this because I love every song on this album. You can give me a few.
Oh, I have so many.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Love Sucks by Avril Lavigne.
Okay.
Probably my favorite album ever. We Are Chaos by Marilyn Manson. I like listening to that one in order because some of the songs transition into each other, so that's really fun. Vessels by Starset.
Okay.
That's a good no skip.
Mm-hmm.
The Sky, the Earth, and All Between by Architects. Favorite album of this year by far.
That's been a very popular one with people this year. Like that Architects record's been everywhere.
It's a masterpiece. It is absolutely incredible. But that's one that I really like to listen start to finish to. I don't want to hear just one or two songs. I want the whole thing.
Awesome. You have any more? Any more? You can share a few more if you can think of a few more if you want.
Can I say my own album? Can I say Exorcism by Living Dead Girl?
Why not? Some people have done it. They've been like, yeah, I'd like listening to my own album. I'm like, well, that's good that you enjoy listening to your entire album. That's a good thing.
I honestly wonder if other artists enjoy listening to their own music as much as I do, because I feel like I created the music I want to listen to. So I do listen to it a lot.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's like you created it. I would imagine people are proud of it. So I would imagine I would hope that people are creating music that they go back and enjoy listening to. That's my
hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd hope so with everything. So again, Molly, we have you and the guys on Living Dead Girl this Friday, 8:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon here in Illinois, and 7:30 in the evening. Where can everybody follow the band on socials? Obviously, you just played Upheaval. There's more music on the way, and eventually you go out, you'll do more touring and whatnot. So people want to follow the band, they want to buy merch, they want to buy the new record. Where can they get all that done?
They can go to livingdeadgirl.ca. Sorry, it's .ca, not .com. Don't type in .com or it won't come up. So livingdeadgirl.ca is our official merch site. You can pre-order the new album, vinyl, CDs, all those old school physical materials, and our tour dates. Everything goes on that website.
Awesome. Well, again, Friday, Poison Me from Living Dead Girl, the artist spotlight. We'll have it for you 3 times a day. And Molly, appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.